Booyah! Over here we got Bampson. Now, question of the day, how did you find the Scrapyard?
I used to watch the OG branch and was waiting for a ranch to open around in my neighborhood, and bam, the Scrapyard pops up. And about a year or two later, here I am. You know, it's crazy.
Crazy how life works. Well, thank you. All right, over here we got Whodini, but you know, GTK.
GTK, doing podcast, man. We out here.
Now, question of the day, how'd y'all find the Scrapyard?
YouTube for me. Yeah,
They just now put me on, so this is all.
I work the
I didn't
night
even see
shift,
the
12
yet.
videos at night, just super entertaining. Love them. Love it. Now Whodini's about to kick ass.
Shit like that.
Hell yeah.
Whodini.
Glad to
Money's
be
on the
here
Hulk
to
right
be able
here.
to grace the
AKA the
ring,
Hulk.
put in some work. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Now, you have one killer fighter over here known as Crazy Legs. Question of the day, how did you find Street Beef Scrapyard?
I found Street Beef Scrapyard just randomly scrolling through Facebook, really. Like, I didn't know anything about Street Beefs, anything. Like, I never heard about Street Beefs, but, like, I was just scrolling through Facebook, doing as I do, just, like, see what's new on newsfeed. And, like, all of a sudden, what is this? Sign up to fight in Washington? Yep. And after that, it was just downhill.
Hell yeah. All right, over here we got Pinche Jr.
What's good?
Booyah!
See you guys.
Now,
Hell yeah.
question of the day, how did you find the Scrapyard?
How did I find the Scrapyard? I was just on YouTube watching street fights because I'm a fucking fan of street fights. So it came up and I was like, oh shit. I seen that you guys had a Gig Harbor one, you know? And then I was like, I gotta fight in this shit.
I'm gonna come pass all over Washington.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Booyah! Over here we got El Gallo. Now, question of the day, how did you find the Scrapyard?
Well, it was actually kind of a hard time in my life. I was actually going through alcohol withdrawing and having like drug issues, but I kind of saved my life. I watched it on YouTube, found out it was located around my house, came in, fought Golden Hands, and after that, you know, haven't been back, but I'm gonna be back one day. But I love the Scrapyard. Kind of saved me a little bit.
Hell yeah! And he's so skilled. You know, we gotta find a good opponent for him. We don't want him out there whipping everyone's ass. Booyah! Over here we got Ankle Biter. Now, question of the day, how did you find out about the Scrapyard?
You know, from my coach and watching it on YouTube every night. Just enjoy seeing the fights, and now just being able to get in for my first fight here today. Just gave everything I had, full heart. Just love it and hope to come back one day. Had a great time, and just looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, thank you. Booyah! Over here we got Jeremy. We got the #1 timekeeper, and he had a fight today too. I've been so stoked. So you check that shit out, and I promise you will not be disappointed. But question of the day, how did you find the Scrapyard?
Steve actually was advertising it on YouTube when he talked about when he fought over at the OG yard like 4 years ago. And then I reached out to him and says, oh, you're in Washington too? And I said, yeah. So he sent me a friend invite, and he told me he wanted to start this thing, and I really was hooked by then. I wanted to come help out and see if it was time for me to fight. And, well, 2 years later, I finally found time to fight. So this is the greatest thing ever, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Booyah! Over here we got the champion, Golden Hands. And he had a title defense today, but I'm not going to tell you how it went. You have to watch the video. But question of the day, how did you find the Scrapyard?
YouTube.
Hey, that's the best place to do it. So, who is your favorite fighter and inspiration?
Miguel Cotto, Roberto Duran, and Joe Frazier, and Mike Tyson.
Hell yeah, there's some killer fighters right there too.
Yes, sir.
Shit, thank you. Booyah! Over here we got Crimson King. Now.
Ooh, yeah. Fucking, I'll be better next time. This wasn't the best version of me, but you'll see a better version next time. We're just looking to be better every time we show up.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, just be better. It doesn't matter how good you were when you first got here. It doesn't matter where you came from, it matters where you're going and where you're at. We're going better. Better is all the way that way. It never stops going that way. So we're gonna keep getting better.
Hell yeah. Now, question of the day, real quick. How'd you find the Scrapyard?
Internet.
Hey, so much fun stuff.
Thank you. And look, not a mark on my face.
Booyah! Over here we have Monkey and the one and only who means business, Simo.
Yo. ¿Cómo están?
Now, question of the day. How did you find the Scrapyard?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. A lot of y'all know Winkai on the Facebook group from Respectful Martial Artists, and he fought at Main Branch. Well, COVID, like I'd been on the computer, right, and I added Win. Well, then that's how I met Steve, and then the next thing I know, I'm out at the Scrapyard, like, and that was before there was a cage or anything. We just had the ropes, and Cody Chronic was out here, and and his little minions, and he had some tough little minions. They were knocking me stupid. I ain't even gonna lie. So
Very tough. Cody Chronic.
yeah, I'd love to see him come back at some point. Him and True Grit. So if y'all guys are watching this, we want to see y'all back.
I've seen True Grit. I haven't seen him fight yet though. Like not in person.
Oh yeah, no, I was here. I was here for the Arm & Hammer and True Grit fight. That where Arm & Hammer got the round, the kick to the head. But that was a tough one. It was a tough one. But I was literally like right here, and I'm like, ah.
All right, what about you, Monkey?
For me, it actually goes way back. So a buddy of mine, it actually goes back before OG Street Beefs. It was the shit. So my buddy's dad gives him a copy of Felony Fights, and it was a DVD, one of the old school ones. And then we start watching that shit. I'm on Felony Fights all the time because my buddy Logan, he just pulls it out like, my dad just gave me this shit. Let's watch it. And I was like, bet. So we do that, and then it got me into Street Beefs because I found that on YouTube, and then Street Beefs into the Scrapyard, and then as I was doing MMA, I was like, this is a good place for exposure. Yeah. And now I just like being here in the state and coming here and fighting here. It's awesome.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. Thank you. Hell yeah, over here you got the head honcho FireChicken. Look at that mohawk. Now, question of the day I've been asking everyone is, how did you find the Scrapyard? But since he technically created the Scrapyard himself, how did you find out of Street Beefs?
Okay, I think the way that I found out about Street Beefs is similar to how a lot of you did. You're online, you're watching videos, all of a sudden a fight pops up, you watch one, and then you start noticing more and more fights from this organization named Street Beefs. And I pursued them on Facebook. I found their Facebook group. I joined back in like 2015 or something. Always talking and being part of it, wanting to partake, but they're all the way in Virginia. It's like I was like, unless I get sent over there for work, then I'm never going to be able to participate. But I did get sent over there for work, and guess who I called? I called Scarface up, and I said, hey, man, I want to come out. And he says, well, I'll hold a private sparring session for you, me, Iraqi Assassin. And so we went out there in the rain, and we sparred for a couple hours, drove 4 hours there, 4 hours back. He tells me, next weekend, fights. Go to those fights, I win my fight. A month later, I go to the next one, I win my fight. Then I get sent home. And then my boxing coach is like, hey, since we train all the time, why don't we build a ring in your yard? And this was just a post ring. I used free stuff that I had all over the place. We built it. We started sparring. And it kind of got to Scarface, and we got propositioned that Street Beef Scrapyard, because we're in Washington, we're already set up, we're ready to go, we got fighters. He saw that. He knows that he's known me for a while and all that. Yes. We did it, ran that until this ring got formed, and the rest is history.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you, FireChicken, for an amazing event.
What was your other questions?
That was the only one I had today.
Oh,
that one, and then, yeah. Who's like an inspiration that you have for fighting? Those were the two that I was asking.
It's really tough to say out of the Scrapyard. I see so many people come through here that display a lot of good sportsmanship, a lot of heart, a lot of improvements. That's another one. I see guys go and pursue gyms. That's kind of what the Scrapyard's all about too. Is you get to come out here, you get to get a taste of what it is, and then what do you want to do with it? Do you want to pursue a career? And I'm trying to go more in that direction with another thing on the side to where I can help people get to amateur and professional fighting eventually. Hell yeah. So it's a goal of mine to help out the fighters and to see them into their career, or just facilitate their bucket list, or how they want to get in here and just try out their fighting,
Hell yeah. Well, thank you. Booyah, Buddy V, the modern day Aztec warrior. Now, the question of the day was, how did you find Street Beefs? I found Street Beefs, well, there was how you found Street Beef Scrapyard, and I found Street Beefs online. I was watching the videos. I talked about how I wanted to go over, but it was in Virginia. And then after the very first event, my uncle pulled me aside and was like, hey, I saw this thing, check it out. They had their first event, a couple days ago, but there's one coming up. And what he told me, there was like 2-3 weeks left before the event, and I was like, fuck that, I'm signing up. And I've been here since the second event. And I've only missed 2 events ever after that. So I've been here since every event since. I love it. And to those of you who are nervous to fight, scared, or don't know, I will let you know now that I started off as 0-3 for my fights. And now you are looking at the brand new 150.